What are the three paradoxes of real estate sales? Hi, my name is Jo Mangum. I'm a trainer, I'm an author, but more importantly, I'm your real estate coach. And that's the topic of this edition of Sale to Serve. Real estate sales can be so frustrating, and they're made even more frustrating by the fact that there are these counterintuitive principles out there that guide us all. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today, are my top three paradoxes of real estate sales. Starting with number one. Number one is this: if you want to sell more, stop selling. If you think about it, if you've ever been sold to, you know that you don't like it, that you really want to run every time someone sells to you. And that's really the way it works in real estate as well. Your job as a real estate salesperson is to ask really big questions to a person, trying to understand what their needs are and what their pain is. Then you listen deeply to the answers, and then lastly, you propose a solution to it. That's all it is a structured conversation that requires you to shut up and listen. All right, so what's number two? In order to get successful faster, it is you have to fail as fast as you possibly can. And I'm sure you've heard something like this before, and you're like, oh yeah, right. It absolutely works that way. I have noticed over all the years of helping real estate salespeople that the ones that are willing to fail and then willing to examine the failure afterward, they're willing to consider what it is that they did, they are the ones that are so much more successful. I've also observed this group of people that what they do is, as soon as something happens, they go, well, you know, somebody else made me do that. And then they stop doing that activity. That is the first death nail in their real estate coffin. I have heard it more times than I want to count. So in order to really do well, you have to embrace the failure. All right, here comes my last one, and it's probably the most important one. In order to sound natural, you have to practice like crazy. I heard somebody talking the other day about this. Here was the analogy they were using. All right, so I've never golfed before, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go join the U.S. Open tournament. Well, that's ridiculous. You've never even golfed before, and you're going to go join a tournament. Well, if you think about it, it's not so ridiculous. Real estate agents do that all the time. We decide not to practice and just go out there and get in the game. Well, you know, it doesn't work all that well for us. Many of us like it. We think we can do it. We call it shooting from the hip. But it doesn't really sound good. What happens is that you go in and you start talking to somebody, and it kind of sounds like this. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I have several things I'd like to tell you about. That is how someone talking and thinking at the same time sounds. And to a seller or a buyer who hears a conversation like that, what you sound like is loser. That's exactly what you sound like. But I can hear you yelling at the screen right now, but I hate scripts. Of course you do. We all hate scripts. But understand that the beginning of a script is the hard part. That's the part that sounds bad. It is with practice that it becomes more and more like you until it ultimately sounds natural. Is it hard work? Yep, it's hard work. Is successful hard work? Yep, it's hard work. Don't want to be successful? Go sit on the couch and don't do any of these things. But this is what you do to be a successful real estate agent. So those are my three. Make a decision of which one of those you would like to spend some time on. Hey, if you like our blog, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, and reach out to me on LinkedIn. And remember, it is the learners in real estate who are the earners.